Okay, so this little short quick video is just going to be a video about the concept of 10 more and 10 less. When given a number, you should be able to find what 10 more would be and what 10 less would be. So let's look at a number now. Looking at the number 32. If I ask you to find what 10 more is, there's a couple of ways you can do it. Now, I've told you multiple times when you are looking at a number and you need to look at how many tens and how many ones to put it in a T-chart. So put it in a T-chart, even if it's in your mind, even if it's an imaginary T-chart and you're looking at it and you think, I know what the T-chart would look like. Identify how many tens you have and how many ones you have. In the number 32, you have 3 tens and 2 ones. And you can see that with that T-chart, you've got the 3 in your 10 spot and the 2 in the ones. If I ask you to demonstrate what that looks like, you know that that looks like 3 rods and 2 units, just like that. If I ask you to identify what 10 more looks like, all you need to think about is drawing one more 10. So you'll take where your 10 is at now, like here. What would the number become if you added one more 10? And just to make this a little bit more easy to see what I've added, I'm going to go ahead and put a little green one there so you can see that that was an added rod. Now, the number is no longer 32. We've added a 10. We've added a rod. What is my new number? 42. There are 4 tens and 2 ones. The number is 42. So when you've added that 10 to the tens spot, it changes the 10. The ones don't change because we didn't add anything there. We added a 10. All right? That's why 10 more is nothing more than adding a 10. If we look at the same number, 32, we can still look at it in a T-chart. We can still look at it at how it looks in a model. But let's say I told you that this time I wanted you to tell me what 10 less would be. All that means is if you got rid of one of the tens, if you took a 10 away, if you subtracted a 10, what number would you have left? So all you have to do is look at what would it look like if it had one less 10. It no longer would be 3 tens and 2 ones. It would be 2 tens and 2 ones. And your new number would be 22. So when we look at that in the chart that we've been filling out on our paper, that chart looks similar to this. And you're given the number like 32 in the middle. And on one side, if you go to the left, you know you're doing 10 less. It's like going backwards the way you would read. If you're going forward, you get 10 more. You could do everything that we just did. You could put that number in a T-chart. You could think, what would it look like if this was 10 less than what it is? That 3 would change from a 3 to a 2. And my number for 10 less would be 22. And then you could think the same thing to get your 10 more. What would this number look like if I added a 10? That means that my 10 would be changing from a 3 to another number, and that number would be 42. That is all this is. Some of you were a little thrown off when it gave you a number like 14 here, and then you had to figure out what went in these blocks. If you're going forward, if the direction you're going is just like you would read, you're adding 10 each time. So you can still put your number in a T-chart, and you can look at it and say, okay, if I add 10, my 1 is going to change from a 1 to a 2. And then I have 24, and I can put 24 in a T-chart. If I add a 10, that 2 is going to go up one number, and my new number is going to be 34. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Some of you are going to get to practice this tonight. I'm going to publish the video, and hopefully that will help you, okay? We are testing tomorrow.